What's up, everyone? This is All Destroyer 229, and welcome back to Super Lag, also known as Pokemon Scarlet. Oh, I didn't want to fight you. I wanted to fight the Espeon. Anyway, last time we managed to defeat the final gym leader. And now we have access to take on the champion assessment. However, kind of looking at the general map and what level our Pokemon need to be, it's probably for the best that we get every team up to level 55. In this episode, we are first going to take on an Espeon so we can add it to the Pokedex. Okay, well, I didn't make any changes. So yeah, I just wanted to add Espeon to the Pokedex because I was just kind of checking around here to see... Wow, really? Just kind of checking around to see if there was any, like, Chanseys or Blitzies in the immediate vicinity before we do what we are actually going to be doing today. Ooh, 2 new moves. Yawn... I don't think there's really anything I want to replace for Yawn. Yeah, I'd rather keep Mudslap because lowering accuracy is a lot better. I may want to learn Double Edge, which, again, it helps with the recoil, but... Nah, I mean, I already got a bunch of other stuff. Woodhammer is basically the same thing, but with grass. It's honestly not that big of a deal. Anyway. Wait, where's that? Oh, it's a Sunflora. Anyway, let's maybe not get too distracted like we did when we got... when we got Tarma. In this episode, we are going to be spending pretty much the entire time at the Academy. Now that we are completely done with all of the gym leaders, we now have all of the classes available to us. So we're gonna do our best to see if we can't try to get through every single class. Now obviously we're not gonna be able to get done with all the classes today. It took us an entire episode to get through most of math, which was just a single subject. But we will at least be finishing math, and then probably try to take on one more subject. So we're gonna focus on our math training. I say training. We'll focus on our math studies and try to get done with Miss Time's story beats. Hello, everyone! I hope we can have fun once again today for our last class together. Last time we learned about probability using move accuracy as an example. Probability is quite an interesting subject. Did you know that in a class with 40 students, there is a 90% chance that 2 of them will have the same birthday? This is true even despite the fact that there are over 300 days each year. Isn't that remarkable? But let's move on to today's topic before we get swept along with probability again. I've been teaching you all how to calculate damage in this class using examples like type matchups, critical hits, stat boosts, and the like. All of these variables are multiplied together to calculate damage dealt to an opponent. However, did you know that there is an even simpler way to increase the damage of your Pokemon's moves? All you have to do is have your Pokemon use a move it shares a type with. If a Rock-type Pokemon uses the Rock-type move Stone Edge, the move's base power of 100 is multiplied by 1.5 to become 150. Ground and Rock may seem like similar types, but if a Ground-type Pokemon uses Stone Edge, the move's power will remain 100. Super effective moves and critical hits also add multipliers onto this little numerical increase, so it most certainly must not be taken lightly. Let me ask you a question to see if you understand what I'm talking about here. Say you have a move with a power of 100. If a Pokemon that shares a type with this move uses it, and hits a Pokemon that is weak to that type, what happens to that move's power? Okay, so same type attack bonus gives it a 50% boost, which makes it 150. Super effective doubles that, which makes it 300. You did that calculation all in your head? Well done, Destro! First, using a move that shares a type with its user multiplies the move's base power of 100 by 1.5, making the power 150. The fact that the opponent is weak to that move's type then doubles that power from 150 to 300. The original power of the move ends up being tripled. Isn't that amazing? What's more, if a Pokemon terastallizes and its Terra type matches one of the original types, then the bonus it gets for using a move of that same type increases from 1.5 to 2. Of course, being able to use a lot of moves with different types is great as well. That's one way you can surprise your opponent. In the end, your own innate characteristics are what will really let you shine the most. Bear in mind that this is true for both humans and Pokemon. Sure would make me happy if you could take those words to heart. But I suppose I should really have shared this basic advice right from our first lesson. My apologies. And just like that, class is over. The last of our time together flew by in the blink of an eye. It was so much fun to be able to teach you all you eager students about numbers. Next class will be our fun final exam. Be sure to review the material well in preparation. I just need to remember all the different classes there. Okay, so it looks like we won't be able to finish off the story beat until we do the final. Alright, let's take the math final. Alright, everyone. It's time to begin our final exam. I'm sure the fun experiences you all had in my class will serve you well as you answer. Okay, how many Great Balls could you purchase with 3,000 Pokédollars if each one costs 600? Okay. So, they're trying to trick you with the Premier Ball, but it is 5. You only get the Premier Ball if you buy 10 of them. So, yeah, you can only buy 5 Great Balls at 600 Pokédollars. If a Water-type move with a power of 100 lands a critical hit on a Grass-type Pokemon, what will the move's power be? Ooh. I really want you to actually think about this sort of thing. How classes should be. Okay, so Water type will half the power, which will make it 50. A critical hit multiplies it by 1.5, which would make it 75. Under normal conditions, what % chance does Stone Edge have to land a critical hit? The Stone Edge? Does Stone Edge have a heightened chance to crit? I'm trying to remember if Stone Edge has a higher chance to crit. Because if it does, then it's 12%. If it's not, then it's 1. It says under normal conditions, which leads me to believe that it's 4, but it could be a trick question. I want to say that she said that Stone Edge does have a heightened chance to crit. I'm going to say 12. If I miss a question, then that's probably the one. If Pokemon uses Swords Dance twice to boost its attack by 4 staged, how much damage will its physical moves then do? Okay, this is one that I got wrong in class. So each stage is up by 50%, so 4 stages is by 200%. Added on top of the 100 makes it triple damage. If a Rock-type Pokemon whose Terra-type is Rock terastallizes, what will the power of its Rock-type moves be multiplied by? Okay. So, using a Terra type, I believe, since same type attack bonus is 1.5, same Terra type is by 2. Alright everyone, time is up! Put your hands on your laps now. This test was the culmination of all I taught you, and I'm sure you all did just fine. Do go and ask for your scores at the front desk, and then take a nice break. Okay, so I needed 4 exam questions. If I only get a 4 out of 5, then I know which one I got wrong, and that was the Stone Edge one. But I think that Stone Edge was one that has heightened crit chance. Hey, it was! Ha ha ha! Alright, so what do we get for passing the final? 5 medium experience candies. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, so that must mean... Yeah, the schoolyard. Okay, we can finish off Miss Time's, story beat. We just need to find her because this is a big area. And oh, there she is. I was gonna say, and I can't use Koraidon. Destro, help me keep an eye out, would you? I've set up a little ambush here for that girl who keeps watching me. She'll be here any second. An ambush? Well, you see, it's not very pleasant knowing she's just staring at me all the time. And now I know what she looks like after seeing her in the cafeteria. It's you, isn't it? You're the one who's been secretly watching me recently. Time? How'd you know I guess you must have noticed me. I'm so sorry. Well, of course I noticed. You were watching me practically all day, every day, after all. I assume there's something you want to ask me? Yes, I do. I've been a huge fan of yours since your time as a gym leader. And I love rock-type moves so very much. Oh my. But you just suddenly retired from your post as gym leader a year and a half ago. Why'd you quit? My goodness, is that all you wanted to ask? Yes, your reason for retiring is never made public. But it's well known among the students here that you just avoid the question anytime it's asked. I thought it'd be rude to ask you a question that you don't want to answer, so I just couldn't find the courage to ask. So that's why your gaze felt so very intense. I see. Forgive me. So very intense? Never mind that. As for the reason I quit my job as a gym leader, I simply wanted to focus more on my job as a teacher. It's not that I dislike being a gym leader or anything of that sort. Quite the contrary. Talking about the gym fills me with feelings of nostalgia and sadness. That's why I always avoid answering the question when students ask. Oh, I see. Do you have any plans of becoming a gym leader again? No, I'm afraid I don't plan to do so. My sister's doing a splendid job as gym leader in my stead. I personally find being a teacher most enjoyable these days. But since I am, in fact, your teacher, I would appreciate it if you would call me Miss Time. As students do, and not just Time. Okay. I'm sad to hear that, but I understand. Thank you so much, Miss Time. Well, I suppose that solves the mystery. Oh, that made me so nervous. I said so many things to try to sound cool. I was certainly a little scared when I felt that girl's intense gaze on me. but having you here with me allowed me to do what needed to be done to face what turned out to be one of my biggest fans. I must thank you for always showing up at just the right time, Destro. Allow me to show you my appreciation a little. I hope these help on your adventure. Yo! Okay, so now we can change one of our Pokemon to be a Rock Terra type. Rock isn't really a type I'm really wanting to Terra type. But hey, we have the option to. I'm actually curious if that means that, like, all of the teachers would be able to do, like, give us Terra Shards? Or maybe it's different for each teacher. Maybe some give Terra Shards and some maybe give a different type of reward. It is nice, though, that we can just have, you know, a shortcut for at least one Terra type. As far as whatever we want to try to do to blitz through another subject, let's go ahead and do art. Hassel, I don't think will be that difficult to try to do. Plus, it would be interesting to kind of hear a bit more on his story. So we'll blitz through all the art classes, get through Hassel's story, and then we'll call it a day. Hello, class. It is I, Hassel, yet again. I like that Penny's actually in this class. It's the first time we've actually seen her. In our previous class, we discussed what beauty is, which might have been a little boring for you. So today, I thought I would mix things up a little to pique your interest in art. Allow me to introduce our special guest. It's a Gibble! This is Professor Gibble, the assistant lecturer for today. Now then, Professor Gibble, if you would be so kind as to terrestrialize for us. As some of you may already know, a Pokemon can terrestrialize if you use a Terra Orb. Normally, Professor Gibble would be of the Dragon type, but by terrestrializing, it succeeded in changing its type. So, class, what type do these lovely, glistening flowers above Professor Gibble's head represent? It's the Grass Terra type. Excellent, Destro. Full marks for you. These beautiful flowers blooming above Professor Gibble's head show that it has now become a grass type. The shape of the Terra Jewel above a Pokemon's head depends on the Pokemon's Terra type. To summarize, if an opponent's Pokemon terrestrializes during battle, observe a Pokemon's Terra Jewel closely to see which type it has become, and choose effective moves accordingly. It is my sincere hope that today's lecture will help you all achieve beautiful victories. The terrestrial phenomenon is indeed a fascinating and deep subject to discuss. That is all for today, class. Thank you, Professor Gibble, for your help. Hey, well, that was neat. Do we have anything? Nope. Kind of wondering exactly how many classes are in each thing. Like, is it 8 for each one? Maybe. Hello, class. It is I, Hassel, yet again. I've been told that my previous lecture about the terrestrial phenomenon was very well received. Thank you all for your kind words. In fact, Miss Dendra specifically requested that I impart even more battle knowledge to my students. So, I've decided that today, we will take another look at how a Pokemon can terrestrialize. And, of course, here is Professor Gibble to help us. Now then, Professor Gibble, if you would be so kind as to terrestrialize for us. Ooh, ice type. Now, what do we have here? Last class we saw grass type terrestrializing, but this time we have something of a different type. Observe, a Terra Jewel resembling a snowflake. Its dendristic shape is stunning to behold. It's a little chilly standing so close to it. So, class, what Terra type do you imagine this jewel might represent? Spooky ghosts! The cold touch of death! Nah, it's iced. Excellent, Destro. Full marks for you. The reason there's a snowflake shining above Professor Gibble's head is simple. It is now an ice type. And because Professor Gibble is currently the ice type moves would not be very effective against it. Keep in mind, usually they would deal quadruple damage to Gibble. Now, here's some trivia about snowflakes. While snowflakes come in many different shapes and sizes, most are classified as hexagons. Just think of it. Snowflakes fall from the sky, taking similar shapes without anyone saying they must. Do you not feel the great mystery of nature? The beautiful enigma we live in? This is a bit of a tangent, but Mr. Jacques' classes are also hexagonal, aren't they? I almost forgot to mention that you can change a Pokemon's Terra type at the Treasure Eatery located in Mandali. Though I must say, the cook there is a little pricky. You'll need to get on her good side if you want her help. Now, come prepared for next class, because it is time for your midterm examination. Thank you for today, Professor Gibble. Okay, so the midterm for art is just going to be identify the Terra typing? Interesting. Back to the schoolyard! Why do these professors have to keep being in the schoolyard? Schoolyard's a big... Thankfully, they've all been pretty immediately apparent. Hello there, Destro. I try to visit the schoolyard from time to time. It's good to see young ones with so much energy and vigor. You think so? Oh yes, indeed. Just watching is enough to make even an old man like me feel more alive. Master Hassel, might I have a word? You? What are you doing here? I've told you many times not to bother me here at the academy. Yet I am bound to come. Our family's future is of paramount importance. It was good speaking with you, Destro. Something important has come up, so I must excuse myself now. Ha! Let's discuss this matter elsewhere. Come. Weird. A dragon tamer? Huh. Is Hassel a dragon-type Elite Four member? He uses Gibble, and the fact that there's a dragon tamer that's part of his story kind of leads me to believe that he's a dragon-type trainer. Alright, so we got an art midterm. I hope you're all ready, because it is time for your midterm exam. Focus, and do your best. And begin! What is the name of the gemstone that glows over a Pokemon's head when it terrestrializes? Terra Jewel, Terra Rock, Terra Stone. I believe it's a Terra Jewel. When the answer to question number 1 is in the shape of flowers, what type does it represent? Love how it's actually worded in a way that doesn't give away the answer, like an actual exam should be. Flowers, though, would be grass type. What shape are most snowflakes classified as? Miscellaneous knowledge. They are hexagons, apparently. Where is the eatery that allows you to change terror type? That is Medali. What makes something beautiful? Shape and color, the eye of the beholder. I don't know. Love how I don't know is a legitimate answer for it. At least it's printed here. But there is no correct answer. Time's up. That's it for today's test. Pencils down, please. I would rather not have students worry about passing or failing in my art class. But tests are tests, after all. Anyway, good work, everyone. You can check your results at the front desk. Alright. 5 out of 5. Perfect. And our reward are more... So I guess it's just always 5 small experience candies for passing midterm and 5 medium experience candies for passing the final. Alright, well, let's keep this gravy train going. Art class number 4. Hello, class. It is I, Hassel, yet again. I'm pleased to say that everybody did very well on the midterm exams. As a reward for all of your hard work, we have a special guest visiting us today. Now then, Brassy, please come in. Greetings. Was not expecting to see Brassius again. I am Brassius. I am an artist, and I focus exclusively on grass-type Pokemon for my work. Brassius here mainly creates 3-dimensional pieces, such as statues and the like. One of his major works is the installation titled Sundering Sunflora, Fountain Artisan. Many of you who've challenged the Artisan Gym are no doubt familiar with these sculptures. Yes, I do recognize some faces among your students. I hope you all understand how fortunate you are to be able to attend Hass's classes. Old Hass is a man who saved me when I had lost all hope and given up on myself. But he never gave up on me. I do not exaggerate when I say that he is my mentor in life. It is precisely thanks to Hass that I was able to establish my current art style. Dear Brassy, I have nothing against reminiscing about old times, but today I hope you will guide this class in a way only you can. Of course. Let's see. Why don't we discuss what Hass mentioned? Sundering Sunflora. Can anyone tell what my mood was when I crafted its detached expression? That was a long time ago. But with a name like Sundering, I mean, obviously not happy. I'm gonna say sad? No, no, no! Completely and utterly wrong! When I made that sculpture, I had sundered all hope. I was prepared to give up everything. I had resolved to give up my life as an artist if that piece did not receive proper recognition. Hence the name Sundering Sunflora. That's exactly it, Haas. When I started out as an artist, I experienced many hardships. I even became deathly ill and fell into a slump that drove me to desperation. I began worrying only about what would sell. I was concerned only with fame and fortune. But all of my pieces during this time had no depth. They were all shallow trash! It was then that I met Hass. He helped me realize how petty I was being. I'll spare you the details. But in the end, I was able to leave that all behind. And that is also when I crafted the Sunflora. Remarkable. Even I did not know the full story until now. This kind of thing is hard to tell someone, especially when they're so close to you. Now, I don't doubt that you adolescents will often find your heads crowded with worries. My advice to you is simple. Be honest with yourself, and do whatever your heart desires. So long as you don't cause trouble, that is. That is all from me. I must admit, I begin to feel a bit embarrassed, so I bid you farewell, Haas. And farewell to your pupils as well. Oh, Brassy. I can't believe it. Such a wonderful class. Thank you so much! Well, that was a surprise look. It is interesting because theoretically that could just be your first introduction to Brassius, assuming that you do these gyms completely out of order. Oh, he's in the entrance hall somewhere. Okay, where? Let's see. Unfortunately, the entrance hall does have plenty of different levels. Man, I was worried about just the practice field giving me trouble trying to find someone. Here, I don't have a good view of everywhere, so it's definitely a lot harder to try to find someone. Especially if people kind of phase in and out of existence. Huh, where is he? He's apparently here. He's gonna be in the very last place I check, isn't he? Nope. Oh, there he is! Right in the opposite direction, hiding behind the bookshelf. That's kind of mean. Oh! Why, hello there, young Dustro. I'm sorry, I was lost in thought and didn't notice your approach. I feel I must again apologize for what transpired in the schoolyard. It didn't bother me. You were busy. That's very magnanimous of you. That woman who showed up is a dragon tamer. And a relative of mine, I might add. Ah, he is a dragon-type trainer! You see, I come from a very long line of trainers who specialize in dragon-type Pokemon. There was a child in our family who was expected to stand on its head and lead it to greatness. But the young lad, rebellious little fellow that he was, ran away from home one day. He made quite the show of it too, swearing he'd make a living with music. A lot happened since then, and now he's the art teacher and Elite Four member before you. After I so rudely took my leave during our last conversation, my dear relative encouraged me to give up on teaching and return home at last. I've been told the current leader of my family, that is to say, my father, is in poor health. But I do apologize. Perhaps I'm not cut out for teaching after all. What sort of teacher grumbles on and on at his own student? Oh, don't say that. You're a great teacher, Hassel. My dear Destro, you have no idea how much your words mean to me. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Hey. Interesting. So, yeah, at least I was right in calling that he was a dragon-type gym, well, not gym leader, but a dragon-type trainer. So let's keep on going with the art. I said we try to blitz through a whole nother subject. We're gonna blitz through a whole nother subject. Let's go. Hello, class. It is I, Hassel, yet again. First, allow me to apologize for losing my composure during our last class. I was so touched by Brassius' story that I simply couldn't contain my emotions. I'm sorry for making such a scene. I certainly got a very stern talking to from Miss Time after that class, yes. Anyway, let us shift gears and dive into the material for today's class. Now, have any of you heard of the 10 sites of Paldea? As the name would imply, they are 10 sites in Paldea that are considered particularly beautiful. Among them, I would say the Grand Olive Orchard is likely the most accessible. You can see field after field of olive trees from the hill on the way to Cortondo. 2 waterfalls are also counted among these 10 sites, Fury Falls and Cassiorea Falls. Then there's the peak of Glaciata Mountain, known as Paldea's highest peak. There's another cliff on Glaciata Mountain that's named after its rather unique shape. So let me ask you, my students, what is the name of the 3-pronged cliff on Glaciata Mountain? No need to grasp at straws. A 3-pronged cliff. Glaciato's Grasp, Glaciato's Reach, Glaciato's Run. Glaciato's Run is a slope, though. That's definitely not it. Grasp, because it's like a claw. Exactly. It looks like a hand taking hold of something, doesn't it, Destro? The 3-pronged glyph on Glaciato Mountain is in fact known as Glaciato's Grasp. Though its shape is far too stubby to be that of a human hand, I imagine someone thought it looked like a Pokemon hand grabbing at something. There's also the mountains in Area 3 of the East Province, where you can get a good look at Lavencia. It's particularly gorgeous at night. In fact, the view is so brilliant it is known as the Million-Volt Skyline. I hear it's quite a hot spot for dates, and deservedly so for having such a romantic view. I imagine it's, what do the kids say these days? A very fleek selfie spot? Of course, you may feel that not all 10 sites live up to their grandiose names. How often do we visit some tourist spot only to be disappointed? Not to say that you shouldn't visit them, only that you should keep your hopes in check. Yeah, one of them is just a tower that's just in a small lake. The important thing is to go yourself and see them with your own 2 eyes. And sometimes, a disappointing experience can be worthwhile in its own way. Take a chance. Well, that's it for today, class. Thank you for your attention. Okay. I'm not going to check the board because I know better. Let's go ahead and have us another art class. I think this is the last one before the final. Hello, class. It is I, Hassel, yet again. My, how time flies, as they say. Indeed, our time together has certainly flown by. It's hard to believe that this is our last class. Now, our topics for today may feel somewhat unrelated to art. But there's absolutely no set definition as to what art should be. Therefore, let us carry on with the discussion and see where it takes us. There are 2 things I wish to focus on today: ribbons and marks. Both ribbons and marks are special honors that capture a Pokemon's qualities. There will be times when your Pokemon gives maximum effort or has a noteworthy experience. In recognition of its feats and accomplishments, it can be given a ribbon. To give an example, if you manage to become incredibly close to a Pokemon, it may be granted the Best Friends ribbon. Incidentally, there's a person in Cascarafa who can give your Pokemon a Best Friends ribbon. Marks, on the other hand, are mostly found on wild Pokemon when you meet them for the first time. They can symbolize the character of a Pokemon, such as with the Rowdy mark or the Vigor mark. It's completely up to luck whether you'll run into a Pokemon with these marks. So, if you were able to catch a Pokemon with a mark, rejoice at your outstanding fortune. Does anyone know what special thing you can do with a Pokemon that have ribbons or marks? Titles! Wonderful, Destro. Your knowledge is impressive. The correct answer is that Pokemon with ribbons or marks can be given titles. What's more, they can be sent in the battle displaying a title of your choosing. Yeah, I found that really annoying on my Pikachu and promptly turned it off. For example, you could send out a Gibble with a Best Friends ribbon by declaring, "Go! Gibble, the great friend!" And while I know I just said that marks are generally found already on Pokemon when you meet them for the first time, it seems that more recently, Pokemon can be awarded certain marks based on their efforts. There are marks such as the Gourmand mark, the Item Finder mark, the Partner mark, and so on. Perhaps it might be fun to try to work out how to get each mark using its name as a clue. Well, that just about wraps up our last class. Next is the final exam. Please review our materials closely so that you may pass on your first try. I don't think any of my Pokemon have any marks. I'm actually kind of... It probably doesn't. It's like, does Tarma have a shiny mark? Yeah, it doesn't have anything. Going through all the different Pokemon. Yeah, none of them. No one in the boxes has it. I'm pretty sure only Raichu has anything of the sort. It says title confirmed. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because it says title confirmed. And the other ones say, there's nothing of the sort. Do we have anything? Nope. Gotta pass the final. Alright. Let's do this. We'll do the final thing with Hassel for his story beat. And we'll call it a day. I do hope you're all ready, because it is time for your final exam. Focus and do your best. And begin! What is the name of the restaurant where you can change the Pokemon's Terra type? I believe it's the Treasure Eatery. What's the name of Brassius' signature art installation that we discussed in class? Oh, it's not Sundering, it's Surrendering Sunflora. God, I read that wrong the entire time. How many waterfalls are counted among the 10 sites of Paldea's? I believe it's just the 2. Where can you find the million-volt skyline? Levencia. The marks a Pokemon have are present when you first meet, and none can be added later. That is a false statement. Time's up! That's it for today's test. Pencils down, please. Thank you all so much for learning about art with me. The time we shared has left a mark that I will treasure, I promise you. And it is my sincere wish that all of you go on out to even greater, more prosperous futures. And that's that. Good work, everyone. You can receive your results from the front desk. Alright, and... flying colors! Alright, some more experience candies. And let's see if we can't try to wrap up Hassel's storyline, which is back in his classroom. Why, hello there, Destro. You always seem to appear at the most crucial of moments. What do you mean by the most crucial of moments? Well, you see... Master Hassel, I am here to collect you. So I see. I'm glad that you finally made up your mind about taking your place as leader of the family. Well, it's indeed true that I have made up my mind. I have made up my mind to continue teaching here at the Academy. How could you? Are you saying you don't care what happens to our proud lineage? I am saying that I have other priorities. Have a look around at the art decorating this room, would you? The children here are letting their senses, their perceptiveness grow freely. I do not wish to say that protecting our family's ancient bloodline is of no importance. I simply wish to see young talent blossom and grow into the future. It just seems so much more fun to me, if I'm being honest. What other nonsense! And yet, your fearless, unflinching commitment to that nonsensical vision proves that you're worthy of carrying the will of dragons, Master Hassel. I will not give up. I will come here as many times as I need to in order to change your mind. Oh, by all means, my door is open. I think you'll soon find you've met your match in stubbornness. You thought I could be cowed by some story spun up about my father's deteriorating health. I am not so easily fooled. I'll return another day. I'm sorry you had to see all that. I was so very close to resigning my post as teacher and returning to my home. But the students here gave me courage to say no. And that includes you, Destro. Your words truly brought me strength. I cannot think of a way I could possibly repay my debt to you young ones. Take this, if you will. Insufficient as they may be in expressing the full breadth of my gratitude. Yo, Dragon Terra Shards! Not gonna be helpful against Ortega, but still a typing that I may want to consider changing one of my Pokemon into. Now then, let it be clear to all. I, Hassel, will continue on my chosen path as instructor to the youths of our world. Ayy. I do kind of wonder, cause he said, like, home and, like, leaving anywhere? Like, is he specifically, like, is this a Dragon Clan specifically in Paldea? Or is this someone that, because obviously it's gotta be far enough away that he couldn't just do both. Like, be, you know, leader of a clan and be a teacher at the academy, and I guess also an Elite Four member. So I'm thinking, is he from another region? And if so, like, Johto? I'm getting a distinct Johto vibe from this. From the Dragon's Den. I'm not entirely sure if there's actually any additional information on, like, teachers or whatnot. But at the very least, we've gone well over time. But, I mean, we're making pretty good progress in trying to complete all the different classes. We've got 2 that are completely done, and now it all fits in one page. Although we still have 5 classes to do. Biology, I think, would probably be the fastest, since I don't think Jacques has any story beats. I think he's literally just Professor Oak. Though there is a much more tangible reward than just Terra Shards. But at the very least, we won't do anything more for at least a little bit. Just because we probably should get going on some more, main plot stuff. And we're gonna call it a day right here. So, next time on Let's Play Pokemon Scarlet. I still need a little bit of experience for all my party members. So I'm going to just kind of check by the nearby area and get all of my Pokemon up to level 45. Trying to think what would be the best to take on Ortega. Realistically, what I need are either Poison or Steel. Those are the two best types to go against Fairy. I'm not entirely sure if there's a great way of doing that. Let me see if there's really anything I could do. No one can learn Poison Tail. No one can learn Metal Claw. It's like everything that could possibly be somewhat good is like, nope, no one can learn it. So no one can learn Sharp Strike. Shadow Claw might not be bad if it's like Psychic Fairy, like if Ortega has like a Gardevoir. So that might be something to consider. Is there anything else? No one can learn Poison Jab. No one can learn Flash Cannon. No one can learn Gunk Shot. Man, like, my Pokemon can't freaking learn anything! I think that's looks to be mostly it. Yeah, pretty much. Steel Beam I can't do. Yeah, unless I do a Terra type, which I don't have anything that would be good against Fairy. I'm actually not sure if any teacher? Like if I wanted to try to blitz through and just change the Terra type of someone. What would any of their Terra types be? History, maybe Ground? Because we already got Rock. Languages, I have no idea. Battle Studies, I would imagine Fighting. Home Ec, I have no idea. So yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about the other teachers except for Kendall to give any sort of guess as to what they could possibly be. But we'll focus on a little bit of training and then try to take on Ortega. Until next time, everyone, take care.